are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, getting stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hate, greed, and jealousy. We are working to be free.
We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love, that is the seed. We can feed our every need.
Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, the world would die. Peace and freedom is our cry. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, getting stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, getting stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building. We're building a new way. Yeah, I heard it. We're building us a new way. Yeah, I heard it on the front line. That we're building us a new way.
You are the new day. You are the new day. I will love you more than me and more than yesterday. If you can but prove to me you are the new day. Send the sun in time for dawn. Let the birds all hail the morning. Love of life will urge me, say, you are the new day. When I lay me down at night, knowing we must fade, thought occur that this night might stay yesterday. Thoughts that we as humans small could slow worlds and end it all. Lie around me where they fall before the new day. One more day when time is running out for everyone. Like a breath I knew would come, I reach needs days in which to be. Love of life means hope for me. Born on a new day. You are the new day. You are the new day.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
all through the night, I'm gonna let it shine.
All through the night, I'm gonna let it shine.
All through the night, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine.
Shine, let it, oh, let it shine. This little light of mine,
I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
little light of mine, take this light around the world. I'm gonna let it shine. Take this light around the world. I'm gonna let it shine. Take this light around the world. Let it shine. 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 Walk down that lonesome road all by yourself. Don't turn your head back over your shoulder, and only stop to rest yourself when the silver moon is shining high above the trees. If I had stopped to listen once or twice, if I had closed my mouth and opened my eyes, if I had cooled my head and warmed my heart, I'd not be on this road tonight. Carry on, carry on, never run feeling sorry for yourself. It doesn't save you from your troubled mind. Walk down that line. the silver moon is shining high above the trees.
Have you ever seen the sky so beautiful, colorful, wide and wonderful? Have you ever felt the sunshine so brilliantly raining down over you and me? Have you ever wanted more? Wanted more? You've got to keep your mind wide open, all the possibilities. You've got to live with your eyes open, believe in what you see. Think of all the days you've wasted, worrying, wondering, hopelessly hoping. Think of all the time ahead. Don't hesitate, contemplate. No, it's not too late. Have you ever wanted more? Don't you know there's so much more? You've got to keep your mind wide open, all the possibilities. You've got to live with your eyes
There is more joy somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find there is more joy somewhere. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta and our live stream. Michael just informed me that you just heard "There Is More Love Somewhere" from the quartet, but we're going to sing it all together and with a little twist here and there. So glad you're here. Well, as you are there on your computer, take part in the whole service, sing the hymns with us, light chalices with us, speak along, dance around, all these things. This is "There's More Love Somewhere." There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more hope somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more peace somewhere. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. Love lift us up where we belong, where the eagles cry on a mountain high. Love lift us up where we belong, far from the world we know, where the clear winds blow. Love, lift us up where we belong, where the eagles cry on a mountain high. Love, lift us up where we belong, far from the world we know, up where the clear winds blow. I want to know what love is. I want you to show me. I want to feel what love is. I know you can show me. I want to know what love is. I want you to show me. I want to feel what love is. I know you can show me. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. And I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. So glad you're here with us this morning. Best place to be on the internet, history of the world.
The history of the world before there even was internet.
Yeah.
This was still the best place to
Now
be.
we know.
Thank you so much, John. That brought me great joy. I loved that medley mashup. Karaoke Sunday. It's great. So welcome to you. Welcome to our Sunday morning worship with the UU Congregation of Atlanta. Wherever you are from, whomever you love, whatever path you are on, you are welcome to worship with us. My name is Reverend Taryn Strauss. I hope you'll check out our website and the weekly email that goes out every week, because it's weekly, all about our Sunday live stream worship, our Good Enough Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. on Wednesdays, and lots of other programs that we are bringing right to your home. I have a special announcement this morning. I am so excited to share with you that our former Congregational president and current lay minister, Amelia Shenstone, shares her joy with us at being named by the UUA as this year's recipient of the Reverend Chuck and Nancy Thomas Scholarship. This is the largest scholarship given by the UUA and the only one offered to an incoming first-year ministerial student. It is awarded to recognize outstanding lay leadership in service to Unitarian Universalism. Mel is extremely grateful to this congregation for all the opportunities to serve and grow here the last 10 years, all that moved her path toward professional UU ministry. Congratulations, Mel. Everybody is giving you a standing ovation, even though you can't see it. Standing ovation all across Atlanta, just for you. I'm also excited to just continue to announce our religious education opportunities will continue through July for rising kindergartners through rising 7th graders. So please see the weekly family email for details about all of our religious education offerings for kids. We invite you to our Zoom room social hour happening immediately following this worship service. If you have not already, please sign up to get an invitation to the Zoom social hour by following the link in your weekly update or the link being provided in the live stream chat right now, I think. Through our live chats, we can express love and care for each other. As Unitarians, Universalists, we know we have a lot of varied opinions, which is a strength of our faith and our congregation. The YouTube chat, however, is not the place to voice and discuss those opinions, as they take away from the flow and the experience of the worship service. If you wish, please use our live stream chat feature for 3 purposes, and 3 purposes only: to welcome and support each other, to affirm the hard work and effort of worship leaders, and to spread good vibes. If you have any questions or concerns about the sermon or the worship, you can always contact me or our staff directly via email. And now I invite you into that gentle care on our live stream chat. Please take a moment now to welcome each other to worship this morning, and to welcome anyone who may be visiting, who may be worshiping with our live stream for the first time. Please welcome them into this morning's worship. Once again, we are grateful you have chosen to worship with us this morning. It's time to get out your chalice in your home and join us as we light our chalice together and say our chalice lighting words that are on your screen. May the light of this flame illuminate our tradition of seeking. Invite all who yearn for acceptance and ignite our passion for justice and peace.
Well, happy Father's Day, everybody. I decided to pick a Father's Day song, and this is one written by Ben Folds. It's a very sweet song written for his daughter, Grace. It is called Gracie. 2, 3. You can't fool me, I saw you when you came out. You've got your mama's taste, but you've got my mouth. You will always have a part of me nobody else is ever gonna see, Gracie girl. With your cards to your chest, walking on your toes. What you've got in the box, only Gracie knows. And I will never try to make you be anything you didn't really want to be, Gracie girl. Life flies by in seconds. You're not a baby, Gracie, you're my friend. You'll be a lady soon, but until then, you've got to do what I say. Nodded off on my chest watching TV. I won't move you an inch even though my arm's asleep. One day you're gonna wanna go. I hope we taught you everything you need to know, Gracie girl. You will always have a part of me nobody else is ever gonna see but you and me. My little girl, my Gracie girl.
Thank you, guys. Won't you now please rise in body or in spirit, wherever you are, and join us as the Lanterman family, Zachary and Joyce Lanterman, lead us in this morning's movement prayer.
Good morning. This is Joyce Lanterman and Zachary Lanterman.
Hey there!
We will be leading the movement prayer this morning.
Okay. First, we bow to honor the spirit of life. We lift our arms and embrace the gifts of spirit. We bring these gifts unto ourselves with gratitude and breathe and smile. We share these gifts with the world. We remember to be present. Honor, embrace, gratitude, share, be present.
Amen. Namaste. Thank you, Z and Joyce.
Love will guide us. Peace has tried us. Hope inside us will lead the way on the road from creed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love.
Let us put hands upon hearts, return to the warm connection. Let love in this moment flow. Say to yourself silently, I will love myself. I will love others. And that love will heal the world. At this time, we hear the joys and sorrows of this congregation. Let us send healing thoughts to Judy Shackley, who is recovering from knee replacement surgery. Judy began physical therapy this week and is improving at home. Cards, emails, and phone calls of support are appreciated. Let us hold Elizabeth Field and her family in our hearts. Elizabeth's father, Harold Smolensky, died this past Monday. Harold was 91 years old, and he will be greatly missed by his 3 children and grandchildren. Elizabeth welcomes emails of support. Roger Comstock, former member of UUCA and professional UUA leader in the Southern region, died on Tuesday, June 16th. He was comfortable in his home and surrounded by family. He will be buried in their property in Vermont. Faith Comstock, his wife, is grateful for the support she has received from their old friends at UUCA. We hold Faith in love. We also hold in our hearts people who are struggling now more than ever with loneliness, grief, loss, or illness across the world. May all beings find connection. May all people find comfort and safety. May all of us find new ways to be more loving to one another. Now hold in your mind someone who needs a little extra love right now, little loving, healing energy coming towards them. Someone you are holding in your heart this morning. Speak their names into this holy moment and write their names onto our live chat if you wish. Now. As humans have gathered for millennia, so we gather across distance in our way on this day, to gently surrender to something beyond ourselves, to humbly acknowledge our mistakes, to ask forgiveness, to seek hope and renewal, to honor the earth that supports and sustains life, to remember that all beings are mysteriously connected, and to feel that connection. Now we still our bodies and we still our minds. We take in a big breath all together. We exhale. We relax into this space that our intentions make sacred. We enter into the wise silence.
Love will guide us. Peace has tried us. Hope inside us will lead the way on the road for all. Greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard.
I know these are challenging, scary times, difficult times for so many of us, but I cannot help but see rays of light and signs of change everywhere. Do you see it too? I see it in you. Something in our UUCA community, something has shifted. You are more ready than ever to take your faith out into that broken world and heal it, change it. I believe, in fact, more than ever, I believe we are rehearsing the beloved community. We have not yet arrived there, and we can make no claims of achieving reconciliation, but we are showing up to the project of a multiracial congregation in the Deep South. We are beginning to tell the truth in love, and we are beginning to listen more deeply, though it is painful. We are discovering different kind of power in ourselves. For those who have shown up to the demonstrations on our new property on North Druid Hills Road these last few weeks, you know the secret is going to be out. We will no longer be able to hide our lights under a bushel or behind the I-85 connector. No. It was so wonderful to see you this past Friday, to hear all the different things, ways you are engaging with your faith, ways you are taking action to bring about a more just world, to hear how you are bringing your children to our children's worship on Sundays, or how you have tuned in to our excellent adult RE classes online, how you are finding yourself growing as a result of our social justice ministries, how you are feeling connected and cared for by our lay ministers and our membership ministries. It is beautiful to have a community to work through the hard questions we are all asking ourselves about policing, about prison abolition, to have a place where we can process open questions, speak those questions into some kind of deeper, imaginative resolution. What I saw on the lawn with you this past Friday, in addition to courage and so many other things, I saw gratitude. So many expressions of gratitude from people driving by honking their horns, people pulling over on the side of the road in tears, crying, wanting to come talk with us. I actually saw one young lady joined us because she felt like this was finally a place where she could feel safe in Atlanta. She said she didn't feel safe in her own apartment complex, too scared that people had called the police on her and her boyfriend, and saw her black skin as something to be feared. That she knew that she could come join us. She said it was like we were at a festival together, and it did have that feeling. So much gratitude. But I also saw gratitude from you. So many of you expressing your gratitude for this congregation that is keeping you uplifted, keeping you staying the course toward justice, though the world may want to bring you down. So I hope you will take a few moments as we listen to some beautiful music and head over to uuca.org/give to learn about all the ways that you can make your financial contribution this morning to this community that is keeping you lifted up in love. This morning's offering will now be given and gratefully received.
Well, this is just a great song about helping each other and loving each other. It's James Taylor's Shower the People. Hope you'll sing along.
I'm singing.
You can play the game, you can act out your part, but you know it wasn't written for you. Tell me, how do you stand there with your broken heart, ashamed of playing the fool? One thing can lead to another. It doesn't take any sacrifice. Oh, father and mother, sister and brother, if it feels nice, don't think twice. Just shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be just fine if we only will. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if we only will. You can run, but you cannot hide. This is widely known. And what you plan to do with your foolish pride when you're all by yourself alone. Once you tell somebody the way that you feel, you can feel things beginning to ease. I think it's true what they say about that squeaky wheel. It's always getting the grease, but it's better to shower the people you love with love and show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be just fine if you only will. What I'd like to say to you is just shower the people you love with love. Yes, show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. They say in every life, they say the rain must fall, just like the pouring down rain. Make it rain. Make it rain. Love, love, love is sunshine. Make it rain. Love, love, love is sunshine. Oh, make it rain, yeah. Love, 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 make it rain. Make it rain. Make it rain. You know, things are gonna be much better if you only will.
In a time that could be scarce, where we're unable to do so many things we once could do, it is beautiful to have a community that is so abundant. I love the choice of shower the people with love, because I'm hearing from you that even though we cannot gather, you feel showered in love, I hope. And so for a community that finds abundance in a time of scarcity, we are deeply grateful. It is powerful, that abundance. It can create a community that offers a new way to people who need it. Even now, we are being found. So many people are finding us online and wanting to join our congregation. Even now, yes, we are found. We are finding each other and creating community in entirely new ways abundantly. It is nothing short of a miracle. This is not the story of most congregations, my friends, but this is our story now. I can hardly believe it. Thank you for your gratitude. Thank you for joining us each Sunday on Wednesday nights and all the different ways you are showing up and adding your own love, your own spirit to the abundance we are creating together. Blessings on your gift. May it go far and wide to create more abundance where there could have been scarcity, more love where there could have been so much less. Blessings on your gift. Please join me now in the dedication of the offering. To the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action we call community. We dedicate our lives, and these are offerings.
One of my favorite educators, Brazilian author and scholar Paulo Freire, speaks quite explicitly about the need for education to be used as a tool for critical awakening and shared humanity. In his most famous book, Pedagogy of the Oppressed, he states, "No one can be authentically human while he prevents others from being so." Now, I've been thinking a lot about this lately, this idea of humanity, and specifically who in this world is afforded the privilege of being perceived as fully human. Over the course of the past several months, the world has watched as unarmed black men and women have had their lives taken at the hands of police and vigilante. These events and all that has transpired after them have brought me back to my own childhood and the decisions that my parents made about raising a black boy in America that growing up I didn't always understand in the way that I do now. I think of how hard it must have been, how profoundly unfair it must have felt for them to feel like they had to strip away parts of my childhood just so that I could come home at night. For example, I think of how one night when I was around 12 years old on an overnight field trip to another city, my friends and I bought super soakers and turned the hotel parking lot into our own water-filled battle zone. We hid behind cars running through the darkness that lay between the streetlights, boundless laughter ubiquitous across the pavement. But within 10 minutes, my father came outside, grabbed me by my forearm, and led me into our room with an unfamiliar grip. Before I could say anything, tell him how foolish he had made me look in front of my friends, he derided me for being so naive, looked me in the eye, fear consuming his face, and said, "Son, I'm sorry, but you can't act the same as your white friends. You can't pretend to shoot guns. You can't run around in the dark. You can't hide behind anything other than your own teeth." I know now how scared he must have been, how easily I could have fallen into the empty of the night, that some man would mistake this water for a good reason to wash all of this away. These are the sorts of messages I've been inundated with my entire life. Always keep your hands where they can see them. Don't move too quickly. Take off your hood when the sun goes down. My parents raised me and my siblings in an armor of advice, an ocean of alarm bells so someone wouldn't steal the breath from our lungs, so that they wouldn't make a memory of this skin, so that we could be kids, not casket or concrete. And it's not because they thought it would make us better than anyone else. It's simply because they wanted to keep us alive. All of my black friends were raised with the same message, the talk given to us when we became old enough to be mistaken for a nail ready to be hammered to the ground, when people made our melanin synonymous with something to be feared. But what does it do to a child to grow up knowing that you cannot simply be a child, that the whims of adolescence are too dangerous for your breath, that you cannot simply be curious, that you are not afforded the luxury of making a mistake, that someone's implicit bias might be the reason you don't wake up in the morning? But this cannot be what defines us, because we had parents who raised us to understand that our bodies weren't meant for the backside of a bullet, but for flying kites and jumping rope and laughing until our stomachs burst. We had teachers who taught us how to raise our hands in class and not just to signal surrender, and that the only thing we should give up is the idea that we aren't worthy of this world. So when we say that Black lives matter, it's not because others don't. It's simply because we must affirm that we are worthy of existing without fear, when so many things tell us we are not. I want to live in a world where my son will not be presumed guilty the moment he is born, where a toy in his hand isn't mistaken for anything other than a toy. And I refuse to accept that we can't build this world into something new, some place where a child's name doesn't have to be written on a t-shirt or a tombstone, where the value of someone's life isn't determined by anything other than the fact that they had lungs, a place where every single one of us can breathe.
I'd like to wish you a happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to you. Happy Father's Day to George Floyd, father of 3. Happy Father's Day to Rayshard Brooks, father of 4 children. Happy Father's Day to Eric Garner, father of 6 children. Happy Father's Day to David McAtee, father to Marvin. Happy Father's Day to Clint Smith, who we just heard speak, who gave that talk 4 years ago and who has since had a child. Happy Father's Day to Ta-Nehisi Coates, to Ibrahim Kendi, to all the Black fathers who are raising children in this country as their act of hope and defiance and joy and freedom. May we support the fathers who are living, and may we fight like hell for the fathers who died as a result of being over-policed and under-humanized. May we support all fathers who greet each day renewed in their commitment to stop the legacy of toxic masculinity that has been passed down from father to son for generations, out of pain, out of fear of male love, out of loneliness. May we expect nothing less than tender, ever-present fathers and support them just the same. Because, like all parents, their loving is a miracle. I love the dads of UUCA. The dads who gather at Manuel's every week to support each other and talk politics. The dads who serve as lay ministers. The fathers who come by the church and fix things that are broken here or put together a shelf for me in my office. The dads who work in our AV Tech team right now, bringing us this worship service. The dads who embody the servant leader with a quiet, supportive smile and a twinkle in their eyes. They are steadfast. They are dependable. I love the young dads at UUCA who I saw back when we used to have church in person, sitting with their families, proudly bringing them to church like they promised someone they would. As long as I have been a Unitarian Universalist, I have been blessed by UU dads. In some ways, I think UU dads are different than other dads. In Knoxville, Tennessee, we had youth group dads. The youth group was almost entirely run by dads. And they struggled not to micromanage our meandering conversations. They questioned whether they should take control of our process or just let us get things off our chest without any structure. They drove us up to the mountain for youth conferences late at night in old minivans, creeping up the terrifying, winding elevation as snow or rain fell, but we never wondered if we would arrive safely. They did the thing fathers do best when they are at their best. They just delighted in us. And they stood with us as we faltered, we failed, we succeeded, and we tried to do better. The poet Mary Oliver says, "Attention is the beginning of devotion." They gave us their attention, and it was like devotion. And when a white man with a big gun entered the sanctuary of my church in Knoxville in 2008, it was the dads of the church who physically stepped in front of bullets that day. It was dads who rushed the shooter, dads who knocked him down, held him down. There is no other love like that. There are so many reasons we parent. One is to be a better version of our parents through the act of parenting, to heal and to right the wrongs we may have suffered as children. Another is to have that experience of living entirely for someone else. The sacrifice and humility build a character, and they give us a sense of satisfaction, though we may struggle to feel up to the task. I have seen dads show up to this congregation with the persistent love and care I imagine they reserve for their own children. They come to be put to work. As a spiritual community, the work of spiritual healing is our work. And right about now, during a pandemic, our work is informed by the reality that those Americans with dark skin will be the ones who are most gravely affected by illness and poverty and imprisonment. May our spiritual work lead us to radical inclusion, to liberation of the body, mind, and heart that leave no one behind, that create a beloved community, offering sanctuary to those who may feel unsafe out there in the world, in the workplace, in the streets. So, let us fully commit to our spiritual work. Someone in our congregation recently observed that I talk a lot about call, because I don't believe it is only ministers who are called. We are all called. Perhaps you don't think about it as a direct call from God on the telephone, and I really don't either. But as this congregant put it, call. It is a force you can simply not resist. So let us take a moment to clear away the anxieties, the desires, the pleasures, the various emotional distractions and things that pull us away from connecting to that force that is greater than ourselves. The one some people call God, and some people call community, and some call the universe. Let us call it capital L, love. The writer Bell Hooks says, "Imagine how much easier it would be for us to learn how to love if we began with a shared definition. The word love is most often defined as a noun, yet all the more astute theorists of love acknowledge that we would all love better if we used it as a verb." I spent years searching for a meaningful definition of the word love, Bell Hooks writes, and was deeply relieved when I found one in the psychiatrist Scott Peck's classic self-help book, The Road Less Traveled. Echoing the work of Erich Fromm, he defines love as the will to extend oneself for the purpose of nurturing one's own or another's spiritual growth. To extend oneself for the purpose of nurturing one's own or another's spiritual growth. Explaining further, he continues, love is as love does. Love is an act of will, namely both an intention and an action. Will also implies choice. We do not have to love. We choose to love. And since the choice must be made to nurture growth, this definition counters the more widely accepted assumption that we love instinctually. All this from Bell Hooks. And so I ask you this morning, what is love calling you to do that you can no longer resist? these few weeks out on the streets and on the lawn of our new property have been beautiful with you. And I want you to hear me that these pop-up demonstrations for Black lives spread across the suburbs and not just in the city square, they are deeply meaningful. They mean very much to people driving by, to people who live in those neighborhoods. They are this congregation's prayer for Atlanta. They are a simple crying out in the wilderness of our city that we are here for Black lives. We love Black lives and we intend to act on that love. They tell our collective story that we are all on the journey of unlearning white supremacy. And we do not find police brutality nor the state-sanctioned murder of Black people tolerable. We do not find it acceptable. We can no longer call ourselves people of faith and tolerate that none of us are free until all of us are free. All we need to do is to further describe the nature of this love and let it guide our actions. See, love does take sides. This is not a passive emotion. This is active. Love takes sides. There is no love without justice when I speak of love. There can be no love without equity. There can be no love without courage. There can be no love without freedom from white supremacy. And there can be no freedom even without justice. You cannot love justice and love the status quo, because that has not brought us justice. So your love must lead you to disrupt life as we have known it in America, because it is not working for us who work for love and who love justice. Pay attention when your actions are grounded not in love but in fear. Notice that. Notice when they are grounded in fear, which sometimes feels like defensiveness, sometimes feels like the beginnings of shame that you want to push away, especially fear of losing privilege, fear of feeling shame at all the ways you may have benefited from that privilege. We need not feed the flames of fear that our governments and the national white unconscious has fanned for so long. Let the fear go and find out what happens next. I want to invite us to pledge together as a congregation and as individuals to stop calling the police as much. We call the police too much when we could call a 24-hour mental health crisis line, when we could call a few neighbors and a domestic violence hotline, when we could call a mental health intervention hotline, when we could de-escalate a conflict with other bystanders. And I know this because as a woman, I am used to calling the National Sexual Assault Hotline, where 24 hours, 7 days a week, you can reach a supportive person who will guide you through the next steps and get you to safety. This is what so many people have been doing for so long, because calling the police can be a deadly extension of privilege and racial animosity, and it is rarely as necessary as we may have thought. Back in my mid-20s, I was lucky to take a workshop with the educator and theater director, Augusto Boal. He studied the work of Paulo Freire, who Clint Smith referenced in his piece earlier this morning. The 4-day theater workshop was called The Cop in the Head. See, we all have one. It's the one that keeps us afraid, keeps us in shame, keeps us from feeling free to be ourselves In one Cop in the Head role play, everyone in the workshop told a story of a time when they had been oppressed. And after they told their story, 2 or 3 people stood up and acted out that moment. It was uncomfortable. It was deeply intimate, and it often resulted in tears for the person who had lived through that. And then the next movement is that the person joins the scene, reenacts the scene, but this next time they subvert the oppression. They make a different choice. They fight back. They resist the cop in the head. They experiment. The other actors then take turns joining into the scene, wearing the mask of the oppressor. And so they also try to continue to get the other person to submit to the oppression. It became an exchange of submission and subversion until the oppressed person had fully transformed the scene into a resolution of equity. And throughout the 4-day workshop, I played often the oppressor and often the oppressed. And in doing so, in joining up, we put ourselves into each other's stories, trying to subvert each other's oppressors. We learned that when your own oppressor in your story causes you to freeze or run, others can step between you. They can generate tactics. They can come up with ideas, confrontations. We all learned new things about the oppressors in our own histories by playing them. In each other, we found co-conspirators, partners in subversion. We stood up for each other as more than bystanders. We role-played until we found a response that would change the outcome of that person's life. And by joining each other's histories of oppression, by really diving into them and putting ourselves inside of each other's histories, each other's stories, we deepened our empathy. If we could gather now, I would offer to lead you through some of those Cop in the Head workshops to help us workshop those moments in our own lives when we have suffered oppression and didn't know what to do. Because the cops are also here and here. And if you are biased to believe the police exist to keep you safe, well, that is a bias worth exploring. Because that is not everyone's experience. This summer, it's not a moment. It is a movement. This reckoning, this time of deeper awareness, of deepening empathy, of learning. It is a time when you understand yourself as a child of love, when we all must understand ourselves as people of love. And that means getting educated, yes. Watching Ava DuVernay's fabulous documentary, 13th, or reading Michelle Alexander's seminal book, The New Jim Crow. But it also means we must all do so much more than we have ever done before. As Ibrahim Kendi says, it is not enough to be non-racist. You must become anti-racist, actively working to free the prisoners, actively making the pledge not to call the police every time you encounter a conflict, actively giving money to Black-owned businesses and grassroots organizations, actively showing your love in the streets when it is safe, and also abolishing the cop in the head, all of it. And even more things. This Father's Day, I want Black fathers to be free to live, to see their children grow. I want more fathers to heal from the legacies of what maleness assigned to them, to create new futures for their children, and if they're not dads, to create new futures for other people's children in all the small daily ways. This has indeed been a dark season of collective illness, isolation, and trauma. The writer James Baldwin wrote, One discovers the light in the darkness. That is what darkness is for. But everything in our lives depends on how we bear the light. It is necessary, while in darkness, to know that there is a light somewhere, to know that in oneself, waiting to be found, there is a light. What the light reveals is danger, and what it demands is faith. On this summer solstice Juneteenth weekend, during the long days of a pandemic, as the danger to the soul of America has been revealed yet again, so will our faith in justice and love demand our full-hearted action. Because there is a light in you. We believe there is another way. This is the moment to let our imagination be free, to find out what could happen if we would treat our city budget as a moral document, if we take funds away from police budgets, outsized, overfunded police budgets, and we build up a parks department on a hill, a public school system and mental health programs and after-school programs and things that I have not imagined yet, because we're still waiting on everyone to catch up to these ideas, to imagine what we could have, what kind of incredible programs we could bring to each other to keep all of us thriving, not just the ones with access. I think the wait is over now. Reverend Dr. William Barber, said yesterday, the worst mistake we can make with all the protest and struggle going on is to demand too little. I'm going to say that one more time. The worst mistake we can make with all the protest and struggle going on is to demand too little. May we forge out of this struggle a new commitment to unlearning white supremacy. May we do the spiritual work of our time, which is to serve, love, and to fight relentlessly for justice. And as all church dads and the poet dad Clint Smith, who we heard from earlier, and as so many dads have taught us, let us remember that we are loved, that we are capable. And if we make a mistake, if we fall down and skin our knees, well, they'll dust us back up, dust us off, and help us get back up again. And remind us that we have what it takes to imagine a new community, a new Atlanta, a new world. That we have what it takes to work to make it real. Until that day when we all are free.
Our final hymn this morning is a song called Let the Life I Lead Speak for Me. We haven't sung this in a few years, but it's an easy one to catch on to. Good for harmonies, too. Let the life I lead speak for me. Let the life I lead speak for me. When I'm lying in my grave and there's nothing more to say, let the life I lead speak for me. Let the work I do speak for me. Let the work I do speak for me. When I'm lying in my grave and there's nothing more to say, Let the work I do speak for me. Let the friends I have speak for me. Let the friends I have speak for me. When I'm lying in my grave and there's nothing more to say, let the friends I have speak for me. Let the love I give speak for me. Let the love I give speak for me. When I'm lying in my grave and there's nothing more to say, let the love I give speak for me. Let the life I lead speak for me. Let the life I lead speak for me. When I'm lying in my grave and there's nothing more to say, let the life I lead speak for me.
Take your claim of love and shape it into a life of action. Be like a UU dad. Train your attention as an act of love. Show up with devotion to this cause. Stand in between a person and their oppressor. Love stays the course. It doesn't lose attention at the next news cycle. And so as we extinguish our chalice this morning, let us not extinguish our plan of action in the service of love that is greater than all of us. Amen. Go in peace. Blessed be.
We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, getting stronger every day. We are building a new way. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, the world would die. Peace and freedom is our cry. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, getting stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, getting stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building. We're building a new way. Yeah, I heard it. We're building us a new way. Yeah, I heard it on the front line. That we're building us a new way.
You are the new day, you are the new day. I will love you more than me and more than yesterday. If you can but prove to me you are the new day. Send the sun in time for dawn. Let the birds all hail the morning. Love of life will urge me, say, you are the new day. When I lay me down at night, knowing we must fade, thoughts occur that this night might stay yesterday. Thoughts that we as humans small could slow worlds and end it all. Lie around me where they fall before the new day. One more day when time is running out for everyone. Like a breath I knew would come, I reach for a new day. Hope is my philosophy, just needs days in which to be. Love of life means hope for me, born on a new day. You are the new day. You are the new day. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. doesn't save you from your troubled mind. Walk down that lonesome road all by yourself. Don't turn your head back over your shoulder, and only stop to rest yourself when the silver moon is shining high above the trees.
Have you ever seen the sky so beautiful, colorful, wide and wonderful? Have you ever felt the sunshine so brilliantly raining